Welcome to Aikido Silverdale. Now, this channel and our organisation strongly supports the idea of cross-training and the free sharing of information across all martial arts, hopefully for everybody's benefit. Now, I completely understand that the concept of cross-training can be a bit contentious, so here's 7 reasons why we think it's a good idea. Now, before we start, there's a few things that should be taken into consideration. Now, firstly, it's a really good idea to get a decent grounding in one core martial art before you start adding in other things. So that could be making sure you've got good basics, a good technical understanding of that art, and of course, core principles like balance and distance and timing, etc. This will be up to you, obviously, to judge when you think you're ready to add things in, but most of the time it's probably going to be around the black belt level. But that's not to say you can't add things in from other arts earlier. It's a personal choice. So secondly, be honest with yourself. Sit down and ask yourself what you want from your martial arts journey, what you've got at the moment, what you think you're going to be getting from your current path, and what you might need to add. Because until you can clearly define that, it's very hard to decide where you need to go to add in these elements. If you're doing something that's very functional and kind of like a sport martial art where you're competing, if you want to add something in that might be a bit more spiritual or involving a bit more self-discovery. And lastly, make sure that you're respectful of everyone involved in this process. If you've been training at a club and you've got a good relationship with your instructor, you might upset them by going and training somewhere else. So it might be worth just sitting down with them and telling them and being upfront about it. Also, some arts, I've had experience of this with the Chinese martial arts, and it's considered disrespectful. You become family when you're training with people, and to go elsewhere, even if you mean no disrespect, can be seen as being disrespectful. So you have to be careful. Another aspect of this, of course, is that the other place you're going to train at. If you're training twice a week at your main club, and then you just go off and you do a little bit here and there, and then you disappear for 3 months and then another little bit, the instructor at the other place might get a bit fed up with you because they genuinely want you to move forwards in whatever they're teaching, and if you're only showing up a couple of times a month, again, that can be a bit disrespectful and seem like you're wasting people's time. So be careful. So why cross-train at all? I think the main reason is that no martial art is perfect, no martial art is complete. If you look back at the history of how different arts developed, there was usually a cultural or a social driver behind it. So there's something that steers the development of the art along a certain path. So that's where you get arts that are primarily weapons based, like kendo or fencing. You'll get arts that are grappling based, like judo and jiu-jitsu and BJJ. You get arts that are striking based. Now, all of these arts have their benefits, but it's very, very hard to find a single art, even the composite arts that do their best to draw from everywhere, that will be perfect, not just as a concept, but perfect for you. What do you want for your own martial journey? And that's the main reason why cross-training is a great idea. Now, every instructor, no matter how good they are, will have strengths and weaknesses. You might have a instructor that's tall and has a great reach and is very flexible and is a wonderful kicker, but isn't quite so good on the groundwork. Or you might have a real powerhouse of an instructor that isn't actually that flexible. So everybody is individual. Everyone's going to have strengths and weaknesses. So that might be another reason why you might want to try and draw stuff from elsewhere and add it to what you've got. Now, from my own personal point of view, this is the main reason I cross-train. It's to get a different point of view. Most of us are bipeds, and pretty much there's only a certain amount of ways you can twist something or push someone over or put a lock on someone or strike someone. Everything is, when you drill it down to its bare core principles, pretty much the same. But what's absolutely fascinating is getting the different cultural and, if you like, semantic viewpoints. Someone might describe something in a different martial art in a completely different way that will make a light bulb go on in your head, and you're like, oh my goodness, why didn't I see that before? There's so many different ways of looking at the same thing. Even something like Chinese martial arts and Japanese martial arts that may well be doing almost an identical principle with the identical ideas underneath it, but it's explained and demonstrated and put across in such a different way that you'll find another secret within. So cross-training is about adding to your personal Budo. And again, I know that's a Japanese term, but this is about your personal journey. And it's very, very hard for any instructor to be able to deliver to you everything you might need. Cross-training allows you to personalize what you're doing. It doesn't mean you have to be disloyal. You can still follow the path of your main club or your main art, but just keep your eyes open and look for what else is out there. Add to what you've got. Taking a broader view, there is so much information now available, freely available, that it seems insane not to make use of that. It's like just eating potatoes all day when you've got a whole supermarket full of food to choose from. So don't be ashamed about opening your mind up and broadening your horizons. Another great reason to cross-train is it's fun. You get to meet new people, you get to try out stuff you haven't done before, you get to step outside of your own kind of comfort zone, to use a horrible phrase. It's a great experience overall. I've been lucky enough to train all over the world with many different martial arts, and I've loved every second of it. I highly recommend just get out there and see what you can soak up. It's a huge amount of fun, and you'll benefit on so many different levels. Now, cross-training doesn't have to just be doing another martial art. You might want to do something to improve your balance. So why not take a ballet class or join a dance class? There's lots and lots of benefits to learning how your body works, learning how to self-monitor and correct your balance, learning about your own personal posture. So something like dance can be hugely beneficial. Now, you could train to improve your mindset, improve your ability to relax, improve your flexibility. So something like yoga could be hugely useful for you. I find that as I got older, my flexibility is gradually getting worse and worse, and something like yoga is fantastic, not only for the flexibility, but for your mindset and also for your strength. Now, maybe you're doing a very traditional martial art and you want to do something that's a bit more sport-based and just try something different, just to switch up the mindset. Something like fencing could be fantastic. It's quick, it's fairly simple to get into, and it'll give you a completely different perspective on timing and distance and entry angles and deflection and things like that. Fantastic stuff. And of course, don't forget the gymnasium. Every single martial artist in the world could benefit from being stronger and faster. So feel free to do some strength work, do some extra cardio, whatever you can find that's going to improve you overall and improve your performance in whatever you choose to do. So I hope this gets you interested in cross-training. We've got hundreds of videos on the channel, and we try and cover something from every single martial artist that we come across that has something of real value to offer. Feel free to ask questions, of course, on any of our videos in the comments, and if you'd like to participate in the channel, get in contact and we'd love to feature some of your videos. And enjoy your training!